My name is Ryan Hull. I'm a 7th grade social studies teacher in Olathe, Kansas, right in the middle of the United States, and I am a flipped educator. I started flipping my class 6 years ago. I'd already been teaching for 10 years, and I'd been teaching several subjects in social studies like history and government. And when I made the transition to middle school, I chose to start flipping my class. I'd been hearing about these hashtags of flip class on Twitter, and I'd been following up on this new movement. I read John and Aaron's book on the flipped classroom, and I thought this would probably be a really good place to start. And so when I started doing my master's program, I started looking at what ideas to put into my action research, and this was the subject that kind of came up over and over and over again. So I decided to dedicate myself to the flipped classroom. And at first I started with just simply flipping lessons. And from those flipped lessons, it went so well, I started flipping entire units of study. And then it went all the way to, it was just working too well. And so I needed to flip the entire class. And once I started flipping the entire class, that's when I started really seeing the impact and the gains that some of the research is now coming out and actually proving. The research is pretty overwhelming at this point that the flipped classroom works. And due to its ability for face-to-face, eye-to-eye, student-to-teacher contact every single day, the checks on understanding, the demand for high-level work, all of these things are working, and the research is showing that student achievement is going on, it's just exploding. And due to this is why we end up looking at different ways to further the flipped classroom. And so now I've gone from just simply flipped lessons and flipped units, and then the flipped classroom, to now where I'm all the way into the flipped mastery, and we're end up going all the way. We've done projects-based learning elements, we've thrown in genius hour elements, standards-based grading elements, and the sky's the limit with this methodology of teaching. As I hear the question and the discussion surrounding the technology itself and availability and those kind of things. And this year in my school district, we've had quite a few bumps in the road when it came to technology. And it's funny, year 6 is when I finally hit my moment of what do I do with technology not being my friend right now? And so this has actually gone the opposite way of what I thought. For approximately a quarter of school in the first semester, our technology in my year 6 has not worked out very well. And so we had to essentially, I had to abandon many elements of the flipped classroom, and I had to go back to standard teaching practices. I was lecturing, I was doing, standard thing, I was trying to make it interesting. I had to go back because the technology wasn't there. The network wasn't sustaining itself to where it was reliable enough for kids to get on and do the work that was necessary to make what we do in this classroom work in the flipped classroom setting. So I decided, after a quarter of failures, that I will always go back to the flipped classroom because it works. I'm here to tell you that I had to go back the other direction, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun for the students, it wasn't fun for me as an educator trying to get information out to my students. And with that being the case, I'm now here to say that the absence of ability to do the flipped classroom is what made it grow fonder in my heart. We're back. We're now doing the flipping again, and the kids are enjoying it, and our activities are robust, and we're having fun, and they're learning again with the numbers that back up that the flipped classroom works. That's the message that I could probably pass along, that with all of the technological issues that you might have, bear with it. Keep trying, and as you keep trying, you're going to find out that many of the things that go on can be handled, and that in the end, the end result is completely worth whatever time, pain sometimes that you might have had in implementing it with all the technology. It's been worth it. That's probably the ultimate message of taking a risk and jumping in through that risk, recognizing that at the end that risk is worth it.